Hello, wealth beyond measure, and welcome to an episode of my Morrowind Let's Plays, the first episode, obviously. This is a fairly lightly modded playthrough. I'm using Tamriel Rebuilt, Ashfall, BetterCitiesOfMorrowind, which is a really good mod, actually, I'd recommend it. And a bunch more that I'm sure we'll discover as we play. I'm just going to get into it, because I want to play the game. Hopefully that gives you everything you need to know right now off the bat. We're going to be RPing, which, for those that don't know, is role-playing. We're going to be role-playing a character, which basically means we're going to be doing what they would do, sort of playing the game as they would probably live the situation out and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's best we get into it. I apologise in advance for the audio.
They have taken you from the Imperial City's prison, first by carriage and now by boat. To the east, to Morrowind. Fear not, for I am watchful. You have been chosen.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up.
Unfortunately, none of the mods that I've ever found affect the volume of that particular cutscene, so there's unfortunately not much I can do about that. I'll edit it down in post, hopefully. Edit the volume of that down. But yeah. And then there's this black screen because we've got a lot of mods. Don't worry, this is all going to plan. The black screen is an unfortunate side effect of having quite a few mods for Morrowind.
Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. What's your name?
So the name of this character, you probably saw on the thumbnail, it's Priscilla. She is an Imperial.
Not even last night's storm. I heard them say we reached Morrowind.
Really,
I'm sure
Morrowind?
they'll let us go.
Oh, cool. I'm going to quickly mess about with my audio. Nothing seems to affect the audio of the ship.
Here comes the guy.
This is where you get off. Come with me.
Nice armor. We might end up wearing something like that as our armor set. Who knows? Who knows?
Get yourself up on deck and let's keep this as civil as possible.
Okie dokie. You have anything smart to say to us?
The sooner you leave, the sooner we can move on.
I guess that's accurate. So as you can see, there's all the Tamriel Rebuilt stuff. There's Vivek just off in the distance there. We've got quite a high view distance set up, because quite frankly, I like being able to see a lot.
Down to the dock and I'll show you to the census office.
Wonderful, thank you.
You finally arrived, but our records don't show from here.
So as I said, Priscilla is an Imperial, born and bred. And I believe that is her face. Yep, that's Priscilla right there. What on earth is that thing?
I'm sure you'll fit right in. Follow me up to the office and they'll finish your release.
Okay. Why are we here? It's probably a question right now.
Head off.
Okay. Ah, yes.
Yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released. There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
Okay, so I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna generate the class just to answer the question, so we can get into the sort of spirit of the character and what the character would think and feel about her situation and stuff, and the situations and the thing. And then we're going to create our custom class by filling out the forms.
On a clear day, you chance upon a strange animal, its leg trapped in a hunter's claw snare. Judging from the bleeding, it will not survive long. What do you do?
So Priscilla isn't wasteful, and while this is some sort of mercy, it's effectively the same as doing this, right? Like, there's really not much difference. So she's gonna not be wasteful and end his life with a single
your
thrust.
father gives you a choice of chores. What would you rather do?
Priscilla enjoys being out in the wilderness. She was raised on a farm and was taught some sort of basic hunting things, you know, hunting deer and such, and as well as like gathering up herbs and stuff. For like alchemy or whatever, you know, like seasoning, I guess. So she'd be gathering herbs.
Your cousin has given you a very embarrassing nickname, and even worse, likes to call you it in front of your friends. You have asked him to stop, but he finds it very amusing to watch you blush. What do you do?
So, in her later years, after her family was killed, basically her family on the farm were killed by a vampire, she spent a few years working as sort of like you know, as a handy woman, I guess. Do anything. Do just about any sort of job for money, I guess. Nothing sordid, but, you know, steal, catch bounties, anything along those lines, basically. Just sort of anything not too sordid for money, she'd basically do it. And during that time, she learned how to turn situations against people, and talk her way out of situations, right? So she'd be doing this. Make up an even more embarrassing nickname for him and use it constantly until he learns his lesson.
There is a lot of heated discussion at the local tavern over a group of people called telepaths. They've been hired by certain city-state kings. Rumor has it these telepaths read a person's mind and tell their lord whether a follower is telling the truth or not. You believe what?
So Priscilla, as a person, is very anti-authority. She doesn't really like kings and queens and counts and countesses, all that. She's not a big fan of that. She's very much an underdog, sort of like a working class hero almost, you know, to quote John Lennon. Yeah, she's not a big fan of kings and queens having power, so she'd believe that it's terrible practice.
Your mother sends you to the market with a list of goods to buy. After you finish, you find that by mistake a shopkeeper has given you too much money back in exchange for one of the items. What do you do?
So Priscilla's quite a self-serving character. She's I wouldn't say she's greedy, but she's definitely self-serving. And the way that she sees it, this money, there's no real reason to return it in her mind, so she's not going to. She's going to pocket the extra money, knowing shopkeepers in general tend to overcharge customers.
While in a marketplace, you witness a thief cut a purse from a noble. Even as he does so, the noble notices and calls for the city guards. In his haste to get away, the thief drops the purse near you. Surprisingly, no one seems to notice the bag of coins at your feet. What do you do?
So again, Priscilla's not a big fan of like fancy pants people running around in fancy clothes, and she probably feels a bit for the thief, but at the same time, you know, this is free money, so she's going to pick up the bag and pocket it.
Your father sends you on a task which you loathe, cleaning the stables. On the way there, pitchfork in hand, you run into your friend from the homestead near your own. He offers to do it for you, in return for a future favor of his choosing. What do you do?
So Priscilla's, she likes to work alone. She's a stealthy character, for the most part. Now, that stealth doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be a thief or anything. Mostly what I envision the stealth being used for is getting the drop on people. And getting the first hit, basically, to swing an engagement in her favor. It's one thing she learned. She's not particularly martially inclined. for the most part. So she wants to swing engagements in her favor, or ideally just not fight a fight that isn't in her favor, basically. So she would decline the offer, not wanting to have to work with somebody and not liking the idea of being in debt, basically.
Your mother asks you to help fix the stove. While you're working, a very hot pipe slips its moorings and falls towards her. What do you do?
Well, Priscilla's not silly. She doesn't want to get hurt, and she doesn't want her mum to get hurt. And the best way to do that is more than likely to push your mother out of the way. Yeah. These two here seem like they wouldn't really accomplish much, and all they'd really do is get Priscilla hurt. This one seems to be the best option in general.
While in town, the baker gives you a sweet roll. Delighted, you take it into an alley to enjoy, only to be intercepted by a gang of 3 other kids your age. The leader demands the sweet roll, or else he and his friends will beat you and take it. What do you do?
So as much as Priscilla has a defiant streak, she doesn't like bullies, doesn't like being pushed about. As much as she'd like to do this, and try and take out the, well, as much as she'd like to, do one of these and like just win, just go for a full-on fist fight, that's not her. She's defiant, but she's not stupid. She's gonna give the sweet roll now, and then later on, go back with more people to beat them up.
Entering town, you find that you are witness to a very well-dressed man running from a crowd. He screams to you for help. The crowd behind him seems very angry. What do you do?
Priscilla isn't big on getting involved in political events, I guess you'd say. So she's gonna stand aside and let the man and mob pass. Probably best not to get involved, because, you know, she goes to help them. The man probably gonna get killed. Goes to help the town. She could be involved in something she doesn't want to be involved in. So she's gonna stand aside. Warrior. It's not too far. We're gonna be joining the Fighters Guild, so I guess it's not too wrong. Okay, so first off, marksman. Second off, we're gonna be destruction. Light armor. Alchemy. And the last one can be sneak. Yes. Okay. Security. Speechcraft. Illusion. What next? Illusion. Short blade. And the last one can be... What can the last one be? I'm thinking either mysticism or alteration. Could very well be alteration. Or I could go a bit wild and have Axe be her last skill. So that she has something she can raise to get her strength up, basically. That is a bit metagamey, though. I like it, actually. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Why not? So we can have something to raise up her Axe, basically. To raise her strength up. And with Ashfall, we'll always have an Axe on us, basically, so... Yeah, I mean, why not, right? I don't know, actually. Could do illusion. We would have illusion tagged, yeah. I'm gonna very quickly sort these into length order, because it looks nice, and will not bother me. There we go. Stealth is our focus. I think I do want alteration instead of mysticism. As good as mysticism is, alteration just feels better, more useful. Definitely more useful, yeah. Adventurer. So we want our attributes to be agility and intelligence. We're going to swap those around real quick because it looks better. Yep. Adventurer. Okay, so our class is going to be called the... Mercenary. Yes, the mercenary. So light armor for obvious reasons, destruction to deal damage, marksman to deal damage, alchemy to deal damage and to heal, sneak to deal damage and get past things we don't want to fight, speechcraft to negotiate, short blade to negotiate with a knife, alteration to protect us, security to get us into places, and also alteration can open stuff too, and illusion for negotiation. This seems pretty cohesive. I like this. Let's go.
Very good. The letter that preceded, you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
We were born under the sign of... See, I went for the serpent before, thinking... But... I like the RP of the serpent. The idea being that, like, you are... the most cursed and the most blessed of all the star signs. I quite like that little bit of RP. But I'm gonna look again and see what I like. The shadow is the obvious one, but I'm not sure I really like it. Turn on dead 100 points, 30 seconds. The ritual could be cool. And it'd fit into a whole, like, anti-vampire, anti-undead thing. I could see the ritual being a good choice, actually. I really, really could. I know I should go with the Atronach from, like, the perspective of, pure min-maxing, but I quite like the idea of going ritual. It's either ritual or serpent for me. It's got to be one of those two. The lover is obviously just insane, and same with the lady. I could see the lover being good as well, actually, now that I think about it. Although the lover is kind of too good, if that makes sense. Like, a 25-point agility bonus is kind of insane. Although I do have mods that make the game harder. I could see her being born under the sign of the lover. That would fit her too. Especially with the paralyze. Being able to, like, pick her moment. And, like, effectively take somebody out of the fight. That could be really good. I think we'll go with the lover.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, I forget what... Destruction is under willpower, isn't it? I only have 2 things under intelligence. I'm not... I might swap out intelligence for willpower now that I think about it. I do see her being quite an intelligent character. So I guess it fits on some level, but It will help us get our alchemy up a lot, which I'm quite interested in having quite high. Yeah, actually, we'll keep it with intelligence, because that just gives us more magicka, and that means more casting and better potions when we start doing that stuff. So yeah, we're gonna stick with what we got.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Thank you. For release by Emperor Uriel Septim VII's decree to the district of Vardenfell in the province of Morrowind. Name, Priscilla, race, Imperial, class, mercenary. Signed, Secusius Ogala, agent of the Seydanine Imperial Census and Excise, 16th of last seed, 3rd era, 427. Yes, I know about the Limeware platter. No, I will not be taking it.
Continue through to the next building and talk to Celis Gravius.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to be taking the thingy, but I'm going to be taking something else. Can I save your game right now? Why not? Don't think I've forgotten our wager. I want this dagger sharp as a scamp's claw in the morning. I don't imagine they'd care about us nicking a couple of bits of bread and stuff before we got out of here. And you know, we're going to need a bottle to carry some water in, basically. We're going to need a few bottles, actually. Let's get whatever ones have water in. That'll do. 3 bottles of water, not bad. That'll last us a while when we're out in the sticks. Ooh. Now that's stuff I can imagine them not noticing or caring that it's gone, so I'm trying to quick save my game, but it's not letting me. Weird. And we only have Firebite starting off with. Firebite isn't bad, but it's not great either. Alright. First, let me take your identification papers. Thank you. Word of your arrival only reached me yesterday. I'm Celis Gravius, but my background is not important. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind. To Morrowind? Yes, you're in Morrowind. I don't know why you're here, or why you were released from prison and shipped here, but your authorization comes directly from Emperor Uriel Septim VII himself. And I don't need to know any more than that. When you leave this office, you're free. But before you go, I have instructions on your duties, instructions from the Emperor. So, pay careful attention. Uriel Septim VII himself? Yes, Uriel Septim is still the Emperor. According to my instructions, he personally authorized your release from prison and delivery here. It's all very mysterious. That's the way the Empire works. Silence, secrecy, let not the left hand know what the right hand is doing. Duties. This package came with the news of your arrival. You have to take it to Caius Casades in the town of Balmora. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for Caius Casades. They'll know where to find him. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor himself. I also have a letter for you and a dispersal to your name. Balmora. Balmora is north of Seydanine. The road passes Pelagiad village, and Fort Pelagiad crosses a deep ravine and crosses Fort Moonmoth, then turns west across the Odai River and into Balmora. The South Wall Corner Club is in southeast Balmora, on the east side of the river. For more detailed directions, talk to Eleni, the scout at Ariel's Trade House here in Seydanine. But take my advice. You're new here. Take the Silt Shroud to Balmora. Fast, cheap, safe. Cross the bridge and head east. Can't miss it. Okay, in Seydanine. I was here at the founding of this settlement. We had high hopes for its futures. However, its growth languished, and only our garrison of legionnaires spares Seydanine from the fate for other small villages across the Bitter Coast, that of a smuggler's haven. I've urged that a legion fort be created here. Is that erected or created? Erected, yeah. Once tradesmen recognise that their business is protected and the prospect of the town's expansion is assured, we will see the arrival of new services capable of fulfilling Seydanine's future. Well, I mean, he's not wrong. We're free to go now.
Yes.
Yeah, we're free to go. So we shall.
What is this regarding Cyrodiil?
Ebonhard Underworks. Do you want Feath Branch and Multi-Branch? Yes, gimme. Okay. Oh, you're awfully close, aren't you? Hello. Don't believe we've met before. I'm in Jarilo Rathrine. Seydanine. After all I've suffered here, I don't think I can be objective. I wish I could see the town through someone else's eyes for a change. She doesn't think very highly of the place, I suppose. I don't want to talk to this guy. I know what he offers you. He's part of a mod that I only really have installed because it came with a big mod pack. Yeah, we're free. Conventional wisdom would dictate we take the Stealth Strider to Balmora, but I'm not conventionally wise, and I want to travel there on foot. But of course I'm going to need armor and stuff for the journey. So we're going to hop into Ariel's Trade House. Oh deal. Welcome to Ariel's Trade House. I'm Ariel, publican and proprietor. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. You're a new face here. If you want to buy from me, you have to barter. If you want a little advice, free to new customers, just ask. Would you like to hear about our most popular potions or our most popular scrolls? Advice. If you need directions, talk to our local scout, Eleni the Red Guard. She's here in the trade house somewhere, and you might want to purchase Guide to Vardenfell. I think I still have a copy for sale. Does he have a copy of Guide to Vardenfell? Because every time I've checked his inventory, he's never had one. At least with the mods I have. I feel like it's probably, like, gets overwritten by the bedrolls and stuff like that. If I had to guess, it's probably that, yeah. Okay. So first things first, we're gonna do a little purchase. We're gonna purchase some armor. He doesn't have any netch leather, which is what I want. I want boiled netch leather. I guess I'm gonna go without. I'm gonna go without armor. Just gonna buy a chitin shortbow. I think 50 something arrows should be fine. Buy a wood axe. Buy a ladle. Buy a bucket and a kettle. How much else do I need? How much do I have is what I should say. Okay, that makes a bit better. A little bit better. I don't want to sell the ring of healing. Let's try and get like 85 out of it. Wonderful. Okay.
I offer the best values in town.
Could you tell me about Satanin quickly? It's a strange mixture of imperial refinement and abject poverty. I know Celis Gravius wants nothing more than to knock down these shacks along the shore to make room for some respectable dwellings, and to be honest, I would not miss having to look out over them with the inner sea. Still, the poor people that live in them cannot afford any better, but have as much a right as anyone to be here. Some have lived here before the arrival of the Imperials. And this Eleni character. She's very self-reliant, not an unusual quality, neither a scout or a red guard. However, she can be a bit aloof and is rather discreet about her activities. She comes and goes. Again, not unexpected for a scout, but to no apparent purpose. Usually, scouts are working for someone. She may conduct a brief conversation in whispers and then be off again. I'm not suggesting Eleni is involved in anything disreputable. She seems quite honourable. Still, there is a mystery surrounding that scout. Although she may be knowledgeable about the land, I think travelling with her could be a little boring. She's not very talkative. She's easy to look at. Right, okay. Oh, you can open it. I didn't realise. Nice. Cool little addition. Eleni.
What's your story?
What's your story?
Go ahead, you're not interrupting anything. I'm Eleni the Scout. Do you need directions to a specific place? Pelagiad, Balmora, Caldera, Ebenar, or Vivek? Balmora blinks. Balmora is the district seat of House Lalu and the largest settlement of Vardenfell after Vivek City. Good roads lead north from here to Balmora, passing through Fort Pelagiad and Pelagiad Village. From Balmora, roads lead north to Aldrune through the town of Caldera. Maybe I'd better write down the directions to Balmora for you. It's a long walk and a little confusing. Okay. Sure. So I have a mod that adds sort of like a journal function to the game. I mean, it already has one, but I can just, for instance, I can do that. Can add to the journal entries, which I plan to do quite often. Now I'm gonna not do it while I'm in my episodes, but what I will do is I will sort of make an entry every couple of episodes and add it in to a sort of make a separate video to put that what you call it in. If that makes sense. I am hungry. But yeah, I plan to do that. I plan to maybe every 4 or 5 episodes I'll add a new journal entry, depending on how much happens in those episodes. Yeah, I can see it being quite fun. Nice little well here. Fill container. Wonderful. Bottle filled with water. So yeah, as I said, conventional wisdom tells me to use a Silt Strider. I am going to not do that. Because I don't want to. I don't want to. So I'm going to try and fix my UI a little bit. I like my UI to be quite map heavy, because I love seeing all the Tamriel Rebuilt. The Tamriel Rebuilt is so cool. I cannot wait to get to that content. Although that said, I'm not going to just go there for the sake of it. I want it to make sense in character for Priscilla to make a journey there, if that makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure everything north of this, like everything around here is finished. I think it's when you get to about here-ish and then down, everything's dead. But, I mean, you know, it is what it is. And yeah, let's quickly read these directions we got from Eleni, because we would not know. Also, we're gonna... that's not entirely surprising. From Seydenine to Balmora by road. From Seydenine, leave the village by the North Bridge and follow the road east past the Silk Shrine Port. East of Seydenine, the roads head north. The road heads northeast through the ridge and intersects the northwest-southeast road. Turn left, northwest, and past the village of Players Yard on your right. The road continues north and swings northeast until it reaches the four-way intersection. The road to Balmora turns left, northwest, and descends into Poyad Maya, deep volcanic ravine. The road follows the ravine northeast for a short distance, then turns left and climbs out of the ravine to the northwest. North of the ravine, past Fort Moonmoth on the right, and come to an intersection with the signpost, head due west towards Balmora. Two small bridges cross the Odai River. On the west side of the river, go north, passing the Silk Strider Port and entering the walls to Balmora. Mind the signpost and be careful. In bad weather or darkness, it is easy to stray from the road. Yeah, so, as I say, Priscilla's not the biggest fan of, like, authority and getting orders, basically. She kind of detests it. But, as much as she hates it, she also hates being locked up in a jail cell more, right? And basically that's where she was before she got released. She was in jail for attempting to kill, the vampire that killed her parents. She didn't quite get it done. She nearly got it, but she's currently not exactly the world's most like fearless or incredible fighter. She did a good job of it though. She roughed him up and then got promptly thrown out of a window. And the guards called on her because they assumed she was breaking in, and the vampire said so basically, that he was, yeah. Yeah. So she gets chucked into a jail cell, spends about a week or two in there maybe, if that. And then it's all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, dragged out of her cell, put on a cart, down to the docks, and then brought to Morrowind, which is where we are now. Yeah. Not really much more to it than that. She doesn't know why she's here. All she knows is that it's better to do as the Imperials ask. By capitulating, I guess, and going to Balmora and talking to this Caius guy, than it is to say no and then get hunted down and thrown in jail again. So, yeah. As much as she might not love the idea of working for the Imperials, she has no choice, basically. And so she will do it. She's not completely, she's got a good head on her shoulders, basically, is what I should say. She's not silly enough to throw away this opportunity, to not be in jail, basically. And while she might, like, roll her eyes at the idea of working for the Imperials, she'd rather work for the Imperials than be dead or in a jail cell, so yeah. Wonder how many times I'm going to say jail cell in the next episode. In this episode, sorry. Probably quite a few. So this here is Pelagiad. As beautiful of a city as, well, as of a hamlet as Pelagiad is, it's not our destination. So we're going to keep going. Now the main reason I chose to basically take the big walk instead of get the Silverstrider straight to Balmora is that it gives me time to explain Priscilla's backstory. And I feel like I've already gone over it slightly with the vampire and everything. But before that, she was obviously raised on a farm, taught like hunting basically by her father, because you know, even on a farm you've got to hunt every now and then. Obviously growing up on a farm, she grew, I guess, a bit of a Robin Hood complex almost, you know, she... Not necessarily take from the rich, give to the poor, but take from the rich and help the poor whenever it's applicable, right? Yeah, basically that. She's a fairly self-serving character, but she does have a soft heart. It's kind of like a Han Solo, rebel with a heart of gold almost, sort of character. She's probably so weirded out right now by all these mushrooms. She spent her life in the Imperials, in the Imperial province in Cyrodiil. So seeing these like ginormous tree mushrooms is probably a bit weird to her. And, you know, rightly so. Oh. Sorry about that. My my internet randomly turned on and brought up a tab on my computer for some reason. Yes, I know I'm taking the wrong road. Taking it intentionally. Priscilla doesn't know the way around Balmora, and it means I don't have to interact with that lady down there. But something I should clarify is that while she's not the biggest fan of rich people, nobles and such, she's got no issue working for them, as long as they pay well. So that's something to bear in mind. Our main goal, I guess, is, besides all the typical Morrowind stuff like the main quests and everything, is to and the DLCs obviously. I plan to do them. I don't know when. But whenever it feels right for the character and the playthrough, I guess we'll go and do those. What was I trying to say? I lost my train of thought. My mistake. Oh. Oh well, I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm saying. Just hoping that my audio isn't too bad. Because that would suck. Hello. Never asked the Dralo. Hello, please, can you help me? I've lost my way and cannot find the holy place for which I'm searching. Yes, the fields of Kumu. I'm on a pilgrimage to this holy place, but I seem to have lost my way. Perhaps you can help me find it? Surely you know this area better than I. I can pay you for your time, say 150 septims. I'm sorry, I have no idea. No? Well, I'm sure I'll find it eventually. Take care, traveller. We have no idea where this fields of Kumu is. I don't imagine Priscilla knows anything, actually, about Morrowind lore. She always sort of saw it as that strange distant land in the east where they worship living people. Speaking of worship, I don't picture Priscilla as a particularly religious character, or as a religious character at all, really. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody she really worship. Maybe Stendar. Probably, yeah. If there was one character that she probably worships, it's potentially Stendar. Although, saying that, I think she'd find the Daedra Meridia to be something of an interesting character to worship, just because of the fact that she actually does things about the undead and everything. She actually attempts to do things. And lore-wise, if I remember correctly, Meridia's not even really a Daedra, lore-wise. Not that Priscilla knows that. Priscilla's not particularly book-smart. What she is street-smart. Yeah, and she's not the biggest fan of, like, bookish, sort of, you know, nerdy characters, I guess you'd say. She'd hate me. You are chilly. Surprised we've run into nothing on the way here, to be honest with you. It's weird. Normally, any sort of bit of travel through Morrowind, you get assaulted by about 1 million cliff racers, but not today. Interesting. I think we'll get to Balmora, accept our first quest off of Caius. Well, you know, talk to Caius basically, hand him his stuff, and then call in for today. Morrowind's quite a slow-burning game, so first couple of episodes will more than likely be quite slow, sort of doing our own stuff, getting sort of into the world, if that makes sense. But I know Morrowind, and I know that it picks up. I do want to take this playthrough quite slow, though, because I want to see everything that I feel Priscilla would want to see in the playthrough. Like, for instance, I want to visit the mainland, I want to do all that sort of fun stuff. We see strange beetle creature, we shoot strange beetle creature. Yeah. I feel like that's all I really wanted to say about Priscilla as a character, right there. It's quite a simple, concept for a character, but I think it adds a lot of interesting opportunities to RP and stuff and decide how we feel as we go along, right? And it also opens up a lot of opportunities to change almost as a character, so yeah. I'm quite looking forward to it. I think we'll have a lot of fun with this character. Also, athletics increased twice just from running here. That's great. Can already feel faster. And I guess this is Balmora then. Here we are. Another one of those big Silk Strider monster thingies that I imagine Priscilla's not a big fan of getting into, to be honest with you. Who knows though? We shall see. And here we are then, Balmora. Lalu Guard. I'm an officer of House Lalu in Imperial Law. Move along. Southwall. Can you tell me about the place? Balmora. Balmora is a council seat of Great House Lalu, and the largest town on Vardenfell, except for Vivek City. Located on the Odo River, sitting astride the Aldrin Vivek Road, Balmora is an important mercantile trade and travel centre. Hightown is the administrative centre, with the temple and manor houses. The shops, guilds and trade houses of the commercial district are west of the river. Labour Town's modest corner club and homes are east of the river. And this Southwall place in particular. Southwall is a working class corner club in Balmora, east of the Odo River. on the south end of Labour Street, owned by Bukola Clausius. And is there anyone in particular I need to know? None of the Hlalu councillors live in Balmora. Nileno Dorvain at the council hall is a ranking Hlalu local. At the Fighters Guild, Adis Fairai is the steward, Ethasi Rilvain is the Morag Tong steward, Feldrelo Sadri is the steward for the Balmora Tribunal Temple, Sugarlib Sabasi is the local Thieves Guild boss, and who am I missing? Oh, the Mages Guild. Rhaenys Aethris is their steward. Thank you kindly.
You may speak.
Also, yeah, I just remembered he did just tell us who the local Thieves Guild boss is as a member of the law. I've always found that kind of funny. What time is it? It's 5 PM. Okay, well. It's one of those things, isn't it? You like Morrowind's water textures and water like physics are really ahead of their time actually. Like they look better than most games water does nowadays. Or at least the modern Elder Scrolls games. I guess there isn't really a modern Elder Scrolls game. The last one came out 10 years ago, but yeah. I don't know. Okay, well. Hello, Sotilda.
What brings you here, Imperial?
Greetings, citizen. I'm Sotilda. Welcome to Balmora. We're a House Lali town and loyal citizen of the Empire. What can I do for you? I'm looking for a Caius Casades. That old sugar tooth? I'm not sure where he's living now, but ask Bukola Clausius, the owner. He'll know. Okay. Your trade? I'm a pawnbroker. I buy your goods, giving you cash on the counter, and if, at a later date, you wish to recover your goods, you need only pay me what they're worth, for a small profit, of course, for my time and trouble. I also sell things, sometimes used and worn, sometimes almost new, and all for a fraction of what they'd cost if purchased elsewhere. Interesting. What can I buy off you then? Right. Thanks. Very, very cool. Okay.
I'm listening.
Good day, I'm Bukola Clausius, publican of the South Wall here in Balmora. We rent beds and I have a limited selection of goods for barter. If you're new here, I can also tell you where to look for other services, or a specific place nearby. If you're looking for somebody in particular, I may be able to help you. I'm looking for a Caius Casades. Old Caius runs a little bed and basket just up the hill on the north edge of town. Go out the front door, north to the upper door of the terrace, and then right up the stairs, and then left at the top of the stairs, and down to the end of the street. Thank you very, very kindly. And so we know where to find Caius. So this mod I've got, BetterCitiesOfMorrowind, adds like a whole new like vertical way of navigating Balmora, and a couple of other places too. It's a really well thought out mod. I really like it. There's no like wasted space in the cities for the most part. It's very cool. Right, let's go to the Caius. What? Yes, I'm Caius Casades, but what do you mean you were told to report to Caius Casades? What are you talking about? So you say your name is Priscilla, you've been told to report to me and deliver a package. Perhaps you'll let me look at it? Of course, yes. Yes, very interesting. So it says here the Emperor wants me to make you a novice in the blades. That means you'll be following my orders. Are you ready to follow my orders, Priscilla? She's probably going to roll her eyes, knowing that she's got no real choice, and say yes. Good. Well, welcome to the service, Novice Priscilla. Now you belong to the Blades. We're the Emperor's eyes and ears in the provinces. If you like, you can improve your melee skills with our Blades trainers now, or, if you're in a hurry, can give you orders right away. But don't forget to visit the Blades trainers. Okay, what are these Blade trainers then? These Blades agents offer training, not free of course, but cheap for a fellow agent. Look for Ritalin, Talia Mylin, and Nine Toes here in Balmora. In Caldera, see Sirine Leorian. In Aldruin, see Gildan. Sjorvar Horsemouth lives in a hut. West of Caldera, and Elaline the Scout can be found at Ariel's trade house in Sadanin. Okay, and the Blades. We're spies. With the Emperor's hidden eyes and ears in the provinces, we watch the Emperor's enemies, we look for opportunities, we make reports, and when the Emperor commands, we obey. But we're really only one of many guilds and factions in Morrowind. You should know a little bit about Morrowind politics. before you get involved in any of these other groups, guilds and factions. Groups favouring Imperial interests are the Blades, the Imperial Cult, the Imperial Legion, the Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, and the Thieves Guild. Groups favouring native Dunmer interests are House Redoran, House Lalu, House Telvanni, the Temple, the Morag Tongue, the Kimono Tongue, and the Ashlanders. Okay, and these orders you want? Well, first thing, Pilgrim, you're new, and you like it. Here's 200 danks. Go get yourself a decent weapon, or armour, or a spell. And second thing, you need to cover identity. Around here, freelance adventurer is a common profession. Sign on with the Fighters Guild, or Mages Guild, or Imperial Cult, or Imperial Legion, advance in the ranks, gain skill and experience. Or go out on your own, look for freelance work, or trouble. Then, when you're ready, come back and I'll have orders for you. Freelance work. You can always just wander around and ask for work, hunt monsters, sell their hides, collect ingredients for alchemists, prey on bandits and smugglers, search ruins for loot. All you need are better skills and conditioning, and knowledge of Morrowind. And spend what you earn on equipment and training, then come back a little less wet behind the ears, and I won't have to worry so much about you when I send you out on a mission. What training do you give? Unarmed, speechcraft, and hand. Okay.
Greetings. What shall we talk about?
Well, so Kai's basically just said to us, well, you know, you're new here and you look it. You're not going to last a day doing what I need you to do, so go out and learn how to survive, basically, and that's what we're going to do. I plan to join both the Mages and the Fighters Guild. Although for now, I'd like to, I think we'll just go to bed for the night, because we're quite tired. Busy day travelling and everything, and it's probably been a while since Priscilla's really slept in a bed. Not just, you know, put her head on a bit of wood and called it sleep. Cola Classias, and that's Balmora. Yes, we have one of those. 10 gold for the rest of the day. Do you want it? Very well, the bed is yours for the day. You'll find the door over there unlocked. I trust Balmora will treat you well. I can only hope so. Wait, that's not the right one. Sorry, my directions have never been good. Okay, I'm gonna end the episode here. Do a bit of writing in the journal, and then, yeah. I know not too much has happened this episode, but it's, you know, it's just the start of Morrowind. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.